Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Testing Sobriety Mounjaro UK and my name is Claire. I'm 47 years old and 5'4". I started taking Mounjaro exactly 4 months ago. 5 months, it's 5 months. I took my very first 2.5 milligram dose of Mounjaro and here we are now. I've got lots to tell you. So we will start with how has this week gone. So I haven't been very good at tracking my calories, and I think it's because I had just had so much on this week in terms of going out. I ended up eating out 5 days in a row. Not every single meal, but I met a friend for breakfast on Monday. On Tuesday went out with my boyfriend and we had some things to do, had to pick something up. So we ended up having a bit of cake initially, and then we went and had some McDonald's. And then on the Wednesday we went down to the coast and had lunch out there. On the Thursday I had dinner out with friends in the evening, went to a Greek restaurant. Didn't eat excessively or too unhealthily, but I did have dessert, did have some baklava and ice cream. And then on the Friday yesterday we were out in Brighton and we had breakfast and lunch out as well. I don't think I overate. The Mounjaro was Mounjaroing, so it controlled how much I ate, but still it's very difficult to track your calories when you're eating out. And so I only really tracked for the sort of first 3 or 4 days of the week. Those first few days I have written my calories down. So day 1, which was a Friday, 13,000 calories. The next day was 12,000. The next day was 11,000. And then I just didn't track anymore. So this week tracking is off, didn't track. And I did say that I really want to be meticulous at tracking because I can look at how much protein I'm getting. I definitely don't get enough protein, and so yeah, I need to get back to tracking. That's a goal this week. I need to track, and I have no plans to go out for food this week at this point, so that's good. Exercise wise, I have been swimming 3 times, which is great. I do 45 minutes of solid swimming, and I have upped a little bit my steps. So last week I said I wanted to increase the amount of steps I did, even if it was just by a few, and so this week I did 34,108 steps. But I've decided to change the rules on steps for me because some days are still very low and then other days are quite high, or there's the odd high day and some medium days and then some very, very low days. I think it would be better if I was a bit more consistent. I've decided I really want to aim for 5,000 per day, no matter what. It's difficult when I'm working because I do 12-hour shifts and I don't get an official break. I can't leave my screen for too long. So I can only sort of really shoot out for a 10-minute walk. So I just need to do that multiple times a day because yeah, I want to get 5,000 a day. And then obviously there will be days where I do more than that because I do like to go on a nice long walk here and there when I can. So that's the goal. Instead of a weekly overall goal, I'm going to go for a daily minimum of 5,000. So let's see how I go. But overall, yeah, I'm really happy with the exercise this week. I haven't been doing as much at home body weight type exercises, but I'm okay with that because I have at least done the swimming, so that it's all good. In terms of side effects, it's just my usual first. It's just a general first that I always feel. Talking of which, this is your sign to hydrate. Cheers. I just drink no added sugar squash, quite weak, and that is pretty much all I drink, unless I'm out for a meal, in which case I might get a Diet Coke. But yeah, that's pretty much my drink all the time. Is usually the grapefruit flavour if I can get it, because I don't like squash too sweet. So yeah, just a general overall first. That is always the case for me on Mounjaro, and I think I kind of was a bit thirsty in general, even before Mounjaro. I think it's just, that's me. It has been for a while. But apart from that, yeah, feeling good. I only took a injection yesterday, so I am taking my 2.5 milligram injection a little bit more often. So this time around it was 5 days, so there's 5 days between the one I took last night and the previous injection, and I am doing it very much on how I'm feeling. And I was starting to feel really snacky last night. In actual fact, I sat down in front of the telly and I had a packet of Oreos. I didn't eat them all. I sat down with a packet of Oreos, some chocolates from Hotel Chocolate, and a packet of Aldi's Pretend Monster Munch. They're only about 90 calories, they're not too bad, but I ate the Monster Munch, I ate one of the Hotel Chocolate chocolates and 2 of the double cream Oreos. So that's quite naughty and snacky. So I thought, do you know what, I think you should probably jab tonight. So before I went to bed, I did take my jab. And so I have woken up today and wasn't feeling that hungry. So I went for a swim this morning and just had some yogurt and fruit with a little bit of oats in when I got back from swimming, and I feel really full. So the Mounjaro is very much Mounjaro in right now. Not sure when I'll take my next shot, but it will probably be 5 or 6 days from now. A sort of non-scale victory. When I was out in Brighton yesterday, I separated from my partner and his son because they were gonna play crazy golf, and I really wanted to go to this perfumery shop in Brighton. It's called Wild Iris, and if you are in Brighton and you're interested in niche perfumes, then I highly recommend it. So I went to this shop called Wild Iris and I spent a lot of time in there having a lovely chat with the lady that owns the shop, talking about perfume. When perfume lovers get together, we can yabba. So I was smelling all the things that she was recommending and had a lovely time. But before I got to the perfume shop, I was wearing clothes that were inappropriate for the weather. So the morning that we set out was a bit overcast and didn't look that great, so I was wearing jeans and quite a thick t-shirt, just a cotton t-shirt, but one of those thicker, heavier ones. And then the sun really came out and it was really lovely in Brighton. So I went into, there was a little shop, I can't remember what it's called, but it just sort of called my name, I guess a small brand. And so I went in there and managed to find a nice pair of denim shorts, which was on my shopping list anyway, because my shorts and my skirts that are casual everyday things are all getting quite baggy. So I decided that I was gonna just see if I can find a pair of shorts and change into them straight away. So that's what I did, and I said to the lady, I had showed her these shorts that I liked, but they were a size 10, so I said, have you got these in a 12 and a 14 for me to try? And she went off and she came back and she said, I've only got the 12, and they were perfect, they fitted perfectly. So I am definitely closer to a 12 now than I was. So I was previously a size 14 in pretty much everything. Occasionally I needed a 16, and then as I've been losing the weight, I have found that I have been able to buy size 12s. I don't know that I consider myself a size 12 at this point, because I'm sure there will be size 12s that are still too tight on me, but I am definitely getting there. And now I will be always trying the size 12 as well as the 14 probably. But anyway, I'm just really happy that I got, you know, these shorts fitted. They fitted really nice. They weren't not tight, but a little bit snug. I wouldn't want to eat like a lot of food and then be wearing them, because I think that would then start to cut in. But they are very much a perfect fit, but maybe a teeny tiny bit snug on the waist. So there's room, there's room. There's not that much room, but they're in terms of time, as I shrink, they're still gonna look good, probably even when I get to my goal weight, whatever that actually is, they'll probably be still great. So anyway, that's that. I managed to buy size 12 shorts and they felt really good. I've got an update on my blood results. If you have been following me, you'll know that a little while ago I had a blood test, and because I was thinking that I had deficiencies, I wasn't maybe eating enough of certain things, because I started to get ulcers in my mouth and I started to get discoloration under my eyes, and all of that was very unusual for me. And all of the iron and whatnot came back absolutely fine, but the kidney result wasn't quite right, so I had to retest. And what I was doing at that time was taking creatine as an extra supplement, because I'm trying to build muscle, and the creatinine level in my blood was higher than it should be. So I decided to stop taking the creatine to see if that was what was causing that raised level. So I retested sort of 4 weeks later, and it has come back higher still. So despite the fact that I'm not taking creatine, the creatinine in my blood is still raised. I will show you a screenshot of it will be the most recent at the top, and then the other results that I've had in the past underneath. So you can see it's steadily rising. I don't think it's particularly scary or anything like that, but I will have to have an appointment with the doctor now. I'm wondering if it could be because I'm on a medication. So I have something called ulcerative proctitis, which is a form of inflammatory bowel disease, and I take a medication called Pentasa twice a day, and I do have to have my kidneys tested every year whilst I'm on that medication, because it can cause a problem with the kidneys. So maybe it's the medication I'm on that's bringing up these levels. So I will have to wait and see. The doctor's is in a couple of weeks' time, so I will keep you posted. My fear, and I am maybe overthinking it, is if they try and take me off the medication, because without the medication I could barely leave the house, and yeah, it wasn't pretty before I got diagnosed. It was not fun, but I don't think they'll just take me off. I'm sure they won't. Maybe they want me to try something else, who knows, but that would involve going back to the consultant at the hospital. So whatever, I'll try not to overthink it, and maybe the levels are okay based on the medication. Who knows. But I will say that since I stopped taking the creatine, the under eye area isn't as pronounced, and I haven't had any more ulcers in my mouth. So I do think that creatine on top of whatever else it is probably was overloading my kidneys a little bit. So unfortunately I can't really take that at this time. So it's got so many benefits that that's something that I did want to be able to carry on taking, but you can't do anything that's gonna cause you issues. So okay, let's get on to my weight. So my starting weight was 168 pounds, which is approximately 12 stone, and last week's weight was 144 pounds, which is 10 stone 4. This week's weight is 143 pounds, so I've lost a pound this week, so I am really happy with that. I want it to be slow and steady. Last week was a maintain, this week is £1 off. That for me is perfect. That means hopefully I'm preserving some muscle mass. Hopefully I am negating any issues that might come with rapid weight loss. So I'm very, very happy to say. So there's just in my line of sight through the window is this aeroplane, and I just kept getting distracted. So yeah, £1 off this week. Very, very happy. Overall then I've lost 25 pounds in the 4 months, or the 20 weeks. So 25 pounds across 20 weeks I think is absolutely brilliant. It really does make weight loss possible for me. I couldn't do it without Mounjaro. There's another bloody aeroplane. I couldn't do it without Mounjaro. I am 47. I have basically been struggling with my weight since about 17/18. There was a point in my life where I started working, I was driving, I suddenly had money, and I don't know why, I didn't think I didn't believe, when I saw the older women in the office always banging on about their diets, I didn't really believe that just a little bit of overeating would make you fat. And I always remember I worked at the same office as my mum, and I was 17. She got me a part-time, no, not part-time, she got me a temporary job covering maternity leave for the receptionist. And we used to go out at lunch and I'd buy McDonald's, and I'd actually eat the McDonald's, but I'd then bring extra food back to the office to eat later. And people would be like, oh, you know, the girls would be like, oh, how can you eat like that? You're gonna get fat. Or I couldn't eat like that, I'd make me so fat. And I was like, oh, it's all crap. I don't believe any of it. Like, I'm not gonna get fat just because I eat a little bit more. I don't know, I just didn't believe it. And then I remember standing next to my mum's desk and I looked down and my tummy just stuck out. It's like it happened overnight. I mean, obviously it didn't, but I just didn't spot it. I hadn't put it on everywhere. My clothes still fitting, but they were obviously getting a bit tighter. But yeah, I just looked down and suddenly I had a tummy. And I just seemed to struggle from there on out, really, and never quite find anything I could just stick to. So yeah, the Mounjaro for me is a miracle. Yeah, you have to put more effort in this time than I ever have in terms of really sticking to exercising and sticking to things like tracking food and monitoring protein intake and all of that. I definitely am putting in more effort than I ever have, but I'm not being mentally drained and I'm not hungry all the time. I'm not feeling deprived, and that's the difference. Because when you really fight to lose weight, oftentimes you can go too far, so you end up not eating enough for a while until you can't do it anymore. But it's always so mentally draining because you feel like you work so hard, like you're constantly fighting cravings, fighting mentally all day long not to eat the things you want to eat. And then you get on the scales and you've only lost a pound, or you might have maintained, and the way that you feel when the whole week has felt like hell and that's all you've achieved, it's no wonder that people can't sustain it. And of course, where the Mounjaro slows everything down in your system, you just don't get that hunger feeling, or when you get it, it's satiated a lot easier. So yeah, I think for me it is a miracle, and I absolutely love it, and I'm so pleased that I tried it. And I hope that I can take it. I really want, I want to be able to take it forever. Obviously I don't want to lose weight forever, but I want to be able to use it to maintain, because I don't have the faith in myself to be able to keep the weight off. That's just being honest. I want to talk quickly about body fat. So my starting body fat was 37.6%. and I am now at 33.9%, according to my Renpho scales, which we know are not necessarily accurate, but I'm happy to just take them and roll with it, because it makes sense what they say to me, so I'm fine with that. So I'm really pleased with that. I would like, my first goal would be to get to 30% or less, and then I maybe aim at 25% after that, but for now, to be 30% fat would kind of put me in an average range. At the moment, my body fat still has me at obese. So my BMI is now in the healthy range, but my body fat percentage, according to my Renpho app, is still in the obese range. So that is a goal for me. I have lost, across this 20-week period, I have lost 10 pounds of muscle. So that is not ideal, but it's, you know, we're all going to lose muscle when we sort of start out at overweight or obese. And you don't need as much muscle, of course, to carry you around when you weigh less, but I do want to preserve as much as possible. So they're my main goals, is fat loss and muscle, if not retention, gain would be even better. But I'm happy overall with everything that I've achieved so far, and I'm just gonna keep on going and take it slow and steady and try to do whatever I can that is sustainable in the long term, because this is something that I need to just keep on doing. That's the main thing. There's no point going crazy exercising like a mad woman, limiting my calories to 1,000 every day just to get down to a certain weight, and then I'm kind of messed myself up for the future. So that is not what we want to do here. In terms of my YouTube channel, I don't normally go on about this sort of stuff, but I am near 1,000. I'm just under 900 subscribers at the moment. Once I hit 1,000, I'm going to do a live stream. So if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and we'll do a live stream. I'll advertise it all with loads of time, and then if you have any questions or you want to share your own stories, etc., then we can all do that together. We can have a little bit of a party one evening, and that should be fun. I do enjoy a live stream. I do them sometimes on my perfume channel, so I'll link my perfume channel in there. I think I normally do anyway. I'll link my perfume channel if perfume is of interest to you, but I do live streams over there, here and there, and they're always quite fun. They're interactive. You get to join in, you get to sort of be a part of it as well, which is great. So that is it for this week. Let me know where you're at in your own weight loss process, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.